Everybody, this is Jordan Paris from Zeus, founder and CEO of Zeus. I am here with Jake Sullivan, the founder of a company called Vector3. Jake, why don't you share a little bit first before we get started here?
Yeah.
What exactly you guys are doing at Vector3? What do you guys do?
Yeah, so Vector3 is built on Roblox to basically solve the issue of the on-platform capabilities being pretty weak on the platform. So I've been on Roblox for 13 years now, and I created Vector3 to utilize social media influencers and just our own knowledge about Roblox and Roblox development to kind of provide creative solutions for brands and existing games on the platform to grow their, user acquisition and revenue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you guys do some pretty cool video work and work with really cool brands and people. Like I love when you update me on that kind of stuff. Like I'm working with this mainstream celebrity. I'm working with this TV show that everyone in the world watched growing up in the
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
2000s and 90s. And yeah, man, really cool opportunities that you guys are that you get coming your way as like what a 20-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid.
19, yeah.
Yeah, 19. So where this is a long time ago now, before we started working together. Where were you before working with the team at Zeus?
Yeah, so as a company, we were just kind of very scattered. Like, so we were building our whole like content system on Notion and got to a point where like, dude, I just didn't know where the status of videos were. And as a company, we were only working with kind of independent developers on Roblox and nothing major. Like every project was just kind of making some TikToks for a game, helping it grow, nothing crazy budget. Um, Compared to now where we're significantly more focused on brands.
Yeah. So what were some of the shortcomings with Notion? Because we take a lot of people off of Notion and bring them
Yeah,
to the table. And I have my thoughts on Notion and why it's just not ideal. I would say that it's really not scalable. You can see that the product
exactly.
built for one-man businesses.
That was the biggest shortcoming I was going to point out was it was when I brought in a team that things became difficult. And at a glance, it was just the biggest issue for me was I couldn't easily look at a screen and immediately know where my company was in terms of what videos needed to be done, where everything was. It became really difficult. And the second thing was, you know, there being no automation for the communication aspect of stuff. I was constantly like pinging people like, hey, like, where's this video at? Or I need you to do this. And overall, everything was just kind of all over the place. And Notion's biggest shortcoming was I didn't get that, at a glance data that I really like. And it was also very clearly not built for what I was trying to do. And for the scale that we're at now, it would be very weak.
Yeah, it's pretty, but screw pretty. Like you don't need
Yeah,
that. I
absolutely.
find that the database function just isn't very good. Imagine like you've got to create a different. You got each client's videos are like a different database.
Yeah,
A lot of times I've seen instead of all being in one database where you can a
absolutely.
master list of everything going on in the agency at a glance. So now you can do that. What else? Like
Yeah.
what has changed now with
So
having Zeus's systems on Airtable?
from like a qualitative perspective, I mean, when I first started, the biggest change for me at least was working with you guys and the CMS that we built. It made me an operations nerd and it made me care about it and have a lot of fun thinking about it compared to early on when I was like, this doesn't really matter. It taught me like the value in that. And it also made me really excited about it. It made it, I spend a lot of my time now really thinking about it and thinking the changes that I can make to optimize everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Made
Beyond
you
that,
an operator. That's awesome.
yeah, absolutely. And then beyond that, it's given me the opportunity to focus a little bit more on the things that I need to do. And I can have a lot more trust in kind of my second in commands or just different people in my company to handle what I need handled. And then beyond that, like having the implementation of forms has really organized us. Especially, as we start to do trailers now, we've been put in a spot where it makes storing the data really easy. And we're integrating that with, the project plan system that we have. And we're finding that to be super useful and just makes life easier. I mean, I can do less on that and focus on editing and what I need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple things I want to highlight, underscore there, as I do, as a good host for the listeners and the viewers, is second in command that you kind of like briefly glossed over. Well, he can, he can use the system. So it's like
Absolutely.
the systems run the business, the people run the systems. Beautiful thing. And then you mentioned, what was the thing that you mentioned after that? Oh, forms. Yeah, I've heard that before. Like just centralizing the data from like forms instead of using Typeform or Google Forms. It's on a completely separate platform, and it's just like, it's another thing.
Yeah.
It's not there. It's not in your project management system. That's no bueno. So how is your process, Jake, for fulfillment changed since working with us?
Yeah, so the biggest change has been like it makes our communication way more intuitive than I'm not sending a message to someone to do something. Instead, what I consistently do now is when I write content, I literally just put like in the morning, I wake up and I start writing some of the content. I submit it through a new content form. My people who are in charge of filming, when they see and get a notification that a brief is uploaded, they just start recording the video based on the brief that's connected in the CMS. And then as soon as that's done, when something is in ready to edit, either me or someone else clicks a sign and puts an editor on it, and that editor is automatically notified. So our whole communication is like it's like almost like telepathic the way it works compared to what we had to do before.
Always like Henry Ford and that assembly line that he brought to the auto.
Exactly. It's quite literally an assembly line. We have very literal steps, and I have an SOP. So, what we found is anyone who joins the company within 20 minutes of watching videos has a really deep understanding. And it's at a point now when I've new people join the company, I just send them a list of things to do in videos, and within 24 hours, they're just taking edits without me really knowing.
Dude, that's a beautiful thing for your personal life
Oh
and
yeah.
your business, all the things, and for revenue, all the things.
Yeah.
Headspace. So real quick, because I know we have very limited time here today. Rapid fire here, like what was the time commitment like on your end in working with us, and what did you have to handle, and what did we handle?
I would say it was pretty low. Like the biggest thing was like the more time I put in, the better my results became. And so I basically, I would say early on, maybe it was a few hours just watching some of the videos and taking the time on my own to, really think about what I want. But other than that, there wasn't too much. You guys were, really just came to me when you needed something super important. And then after that, if I had a problem, I could just message you to take care of it, which was super helpful on my end. But one of the things that I did like was you did give it was very clear early on that it was a two-way process and that we had to be involved, which in like there were times when it was almost like, we were given work to do, which made it really valuable for us because it really fine-tuned the product we got.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So in the next 6 to 12 months, where do you see the business going? If you don't end up getting acquired or acqui-hired, which you've been approached for numerous times over the past.
Yeah. We actually haven't. I'm in one of those talks right now.
Okay, well, yeah, those seem pretty frequent, man.
Yeah, they are. So I think
business?
we honestly, right now, the first priority has been for us, like this quarter, is just nail operations because I've become such a nerd about it where we're fine tuning that. And then I see us kind of really dominating in this brand space of building out the social media campaigns and the trailers. I think it's working with a lot more brands than we are now. And then I also see us, hopefully by the end of the year, being this kind of all-encompassing marketing agency that covers more UGC platforms. So Fortnite Creative, which is booming, we want to do exactly what we're doing right now on there and just continue to grow and cover this whole UGC market, doing what we do right now on multiple platforms with a larger team.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And you're empowered to do that.
Absolutely.
System to support it, dude. So like anything as far as results or process or anything else goes, like anything you were surprised about in terms of the results you got after working with us?
I think for me, like I know I've mentioned this a few times, it just how I found myself getting so into operations and so into this stuff because of how cool our system was. It like taught me like, oh, like this doesn't have to be boring or painful, like mind numbing to do, but you can make really cool changes in your company that make you, more money or give you more time. And so when I learned that, I've become someone now who, I have the biggest Miro map in the world right now that is just like every process and everything I want to do, and now I'm adapting it into Zeus's systems. And it's like
Yeah.
that's something that I think about and I'm super passionate about, which I didn't in a million years think I would care about.
Yeah. There's a concept called 2-second lean, which is basically it's making a 2-second little process improvement every day. And that can be as simple as like where you place your toothbrush, and just making that making everything more efficient. Like, does this, a helpful lens to view things through is like, are we creating more or less steps here? Answer should be yes. Is this as simple to learn and understand as possible? Is it as simple as possible?
It 100% is.
Yeah. So
that's the best part about it is I just give the SOPs to my editors.
Last question here. What would you say if someone's on the fence about working with Zeus for whatever reason? I don't know why they would be on the fence, but let them know.
I would say the investment in what you're getting is way bigger than just like this content management system. It's like, you've been someone like, who's kind of been able to talk about things business wise and has like been able to be a really helpful guide. And it's also like you're just getting way more than I think what people see a CMS as. Like at first it's just like, oh, it's like where my videos are. It's become like the absolute hub for our company, and it's become something that legitimately helps us make more money, which is super important. And as someone who's always skeptical about agency advertising, like, oh, like how does this cause more money? The biggest thing is like at the end of the road, you will be like, I get it now. I fully understand. It might not be the craziest jump in money, or it might not like be more clients, but it's like you will fulfill and feel better about the work you do. And that was the biggest change for me was, we had all of the inbound in the world, but we were not fulfilling our clients' requests. And while it's still something we struggle and it's still something I learned, it's just significantly easier than what it ever was because of this system. And that's the most valuable part, obviously, of being an agency.
Feeling better about the work that you do. That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
My man, brother, thank you for being here. I hope
of course.
you have a fantastic day and just be
well. You too, man. Absolutely. All right. I'll see you later. Thanks for having me. Peace.